Good morning, everyone. We'll wait just a few moments as our Sangha members virtually pop in here. Good morning and welcome to Meditation Town Hall on this, at least here in New York, rainy September morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelley Amadei, and I am a longtime Dzogchen student, over 25 years, and have been leading with Lama Surya and the Sangha for quite some time. And it's my honor to be here with all of you. So I don't know about you. I'm going to do a little intro here, then we'll officially start. We'll do some practice, but I'm always confused as to why January is the beginning of the new year. And maybe it's because I went to school for 16 years and I have a kid who's in school, but for me, September always feels more like the new year to me. It feels like the opportunity to restart, refresh, and look at things in a new and different way, or look at things in a more intentional way. When my son was younger, we used to have a lot of conversations before school would start about being willing to have a beginner's mind. He was cursed with the curse that I had, which is I thought I was supposed to know everything before I learned it. I don't know if there's anyone that can relate to that. He would start school very anxious because he wanted to already know everything he was supposed to know in fourth grade. And I would have to gently remind him the whole point of going to fourth grade, he's now a sophomore in high school, but was to learn. And sometimes I feel that way in my life, and sometimes I feel that way about my practice even. You know, I've been doing it for a long time, and I get to places where I have new experiences or I remember things, and I feel like I should have already known them. I should have already mastered something. And sometimes when we join and participate in things like Meditation Town Hall, if you're a seasoned practitioner, you may think, oh, what we're about to do is basics. I did that 20 years ago. I don't need it. And you may be a new person coming in thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Maybe I've never meditated before, or I've never meditated in this way before. So my intention with today was sort of to bring us all to a foundational starting ground. For those of you who are seasoned, you have permission to not know anything. And for those of you who are new, you have permission to just be and not know along with us. And I thought it'd be nice to just do a refresher on what we're actually here to do. Why are we practicing? And for those of you who've been here with me in years prior, you've likely heard me say that a lot. What are we actually here for? And for each of you, that answer may be different. For me, the answer to that is so that I can be fully present in each moment in my most pure, loving, bodhisattva self. And in order to do that, I need formal practice. We don't just walk into the world, not even the Buddha walked into the world fully awakened, right? He cultivated his practice. He cultivated the Dharma. He cultivated his awakening. And so that's what we are here doing, is cultivating our awakening. And so whatever you came in with, whatever shoulds or expectations or pressure you came in with, I invite you to set it down and let it go and just be here with us. So we're going to do a little chanting, little praying to open ourselves up, wake up, some dedication. And I will do a couple of short guided teachings, and we're going to have what I'll call and what Lama Surya calls many quickies. I'm not going to talk to you for 30 minutes and then we'll sit for 30 minutes. I'm going to do a little guidance and then we'll sit for 10 minutes and we'll break up the obscurations. We'll do a little more and we'll sit for 10 minutes. So it'll kind of go like that. Does that sound okay? Okay, great. So here you are. Find a comfortable seat. Whatever is comfortable for you, whatever is going to be the most in service of your ability to practice, to be present. You want to make sure you can breathe easy, but you also get to be comfortable. So let's get started. So I bow to you, I bow to the Buddha that you are, I bow to your loving presence and to my own. So in our practice, the first part of practice is arrival. Sitting, arriving, settling, and getting in touch with our breath. Our body. I like to check in with my body when I first sit in the mornings. Notice, where am I contracted? Where am I relaxed? Where might I be holding tension? And I just notice where that is. Like right now, my jaw is a little tight, so it's inviting me to loosen it, open. After that, I find I settle a little more. Each step of the way is about a little more, or maybe a little less, depending on what we're talking about. These are micro movements. We're not doing big pendulum swings. For the next few moments, we'll just sit with no intention other than just being, and see what happens. We'll set intentions here with the 4 immeasurable aspirations, which is truly essential to our practice. Not only our own arrival, but what our intention is. We'll do it in English. May all beings possess happiness in the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering in the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy, which is free from suffering. And may all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. And we'll do the 4 dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa, calling in some assistance to wherever you might call it in from. No wrong answer to that. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. I'm going to give just a little guidance on preparing for this practice. So, our formal practice is essential. It's essential to cultivating a calm, abiding, steady, clear, and pliable mind. It's essential to working with all that arises so that we can be more of who we really are. Right? So it depends on a few things. First, we must arrive and sit. Protect the time, if that time is 1 minute or 1 hour. But do it on purpose. So here we are, there's 74 of us here right now doing this on purpose, arriving together. Simple, but not easy. Lives are busy. So living our Dharma, doing our Dharma depends on our own minds. And so what do we mean by that? Where is your mind? What is your mind? What are you looking after? What are you working with? And so for today's intention, we're going to keep it super simple. Working with our mind today is about being aware of what arises. And as humans, what arises for us most of the time are thoughts and feelings. So our work in our practice is to see them and to relax, to let them be. It's the way of abiding, the Wu way, our heart and mind at ease, just abiding in all that arises, nothing to do. It's a being with. It's not, there's a subtle discernible difference here. It's not just a resting and zoning out, but it's alert and aware and relaxed. It's being with while resting in. And in that, we allow relaxation to enter. But more to the point, we allow relaxation to be. It's already there. So what does it feel like if you just relax, if you allow relaxation in your body? How much relaxation can you allow? And how do you know when you're relaxed? So I think of a few different things. When I'm relaxed, I've exerted myself first, generally. So I've either worked out or I've worked on something really hard. I've exhausted something. So if you run or you sprint or you jump or you cycle or you're working in the heat of the garden all day, at the end of it, you sit down. Hopefully you have a nice cool glass of water and you naturally feel at ease, relaxed. And you're content. So it's a natural place of rest. And so our practice is like that. In our practice, it's our minds that are racing, not our bodies, although our bodies are sending signals too. So our minds are chasing, they're reacting, they're working, there's all kinds of arising. And our practice is to watch it all, to be aware of it, thought by thought, thought. It all arises. And in the beginning, and even later on, many of us think as these thoughts are arising, I must be doing something wrong. Too many thoughts, too many feelings. I can't do this. I can't sit still. My mind is too busy. I'm too active. No. The practice is to stay. It's not to not have arisings. It's to stay in the discomfort. To let your mind be like a toddler that's having a tantrum. That's just working it out. When a toddler is having a tantrum, those of you who are parents or grandparents, you know you can't actually interrupt it. You just have to bear witness. So we're going to bear witness to our toddler-like minds having a tantrum while we sit. And we'll see what happens. So your work right now is to sit and not do anything other than notice the arisings. Not grasp, not fix, not push away. Just notice. Open, aware. Open and aware. So you may have noticed that there was a decent amount of activity, and that while we are protecting our minds and we're noticing our minds, we're noticing the activity, and we arrive at a state of natural rest, arisings come again. So our mind doesn't stay in this state for too long yet. Arisings will continue to occur. And I want you to think about thoughts as movement. Dujim Rinpoche talks about this in his teachings and in his writings. He talks about thoughts as movement. So if you are the ocean floor, you are the ocean. Your thoughts are the waves. The ocean doesn't do anything about the waves. It doesn't even create the waves. The waves arise on their own. The waves dissolve on their own. So if you imagine yourself as the vast ocean, and your thoughts are just movement arising from that which is. There's nothing inherently wrong with a thought. Just in the same way, there's nothing wrong with a wave. It just is. Now, what do we do with that arising? What do we do with that movement? Generally, where I get myself into trouble is I do something with it. But if I use my practice, and within my practice, I just am aware of it. I want to say allow it, but it's not even an allowing, it's just a resting. Allowing even makes it sound like there's something you could do to not allow it. I don't know about you, but I haven't had any luck with not allowing thoughts. I more just fight with them. And so we're practicing the witnessing of what is naturally arising and leaving it alone. Recognition. And the more we cultivate this calm abiding, the more we cultivate this recognition without having to do anything with the thoughts, with the movements, the more ease we will create, the more space we will cultivate. The thoughts will arise, and then they'll dissolve, by itself arising, by itself dissolving, just like the ocean waves. There's no other place for them to go. Where else is a wave going to go? Where else will your thought go? There's nowhere for it to go. So, movement, movement, I see it. Don't even name it. Let it dissolve. Let it be naturally pacified in the spaciousness. I mean, that's what the Dzogchen practice is. You notice we're not counting breath, we're not focusing on breath, we're just being in this open, wide space and allowing what arises to arise. Not following, just resting. So, let's practice again. Reset yourself. Stretch your body. And as you may have noticed, this practice is complex. It's not only thoughts arising and our natural tendency, or our conditioned tendency, I should say, to push it away or pull it in, to interrupt a flow or to chase something. But also, another experience that might happen is that you sort of space out. There's an absence of thought. And this is a very subtle difference, but in an absence of thought without awareness, where you're not asleep, but there's a dullness or a blankness, that is not and does not create calm abiding, because there's no inherent clarity there. There's no inherent luminosity. It's a dullness. And so it may feel like, oh, I really got something here, because there are less thoughts. The two problems with that is, one, seeing thoughts as a problem, and two, seeing dullness as the goal. So our minds are tricky. This practice is tricky. And the key word here is to stay alert and aware and awake. And so when you drift off into that sort of dullness, first of all, you need to know you're there. And then there's some things that you can do. We're doing lots of little sits here, but one of the things you can do is straighten up your body. Take a deep breath and exhale that stale air, that stale prana, that sort of stagnant that can be creating and contributing to that dullness. And then focus in front of you, that gentle gaze out about 6 to 8 feet in front of you, slightly downward gaze in this case, in this particular practice. Because that absence of thought, that dullness actually needs to be cleared through your system. And then it sharpens your awareness. So awareness is always present. So the stillness of meditation, when you're actually resting in naturally and at ease, is an unaltered state. It's a state of open luminosity where everything is allowed and dullness is cleared. So for this next little short sit, you're going to notice, what is it that notices? What is it that's noticing the thought? What is it that has the instinct to name it as movement? So knowing that thoughts are just movements, what is that which notices? Right? That's your awareness, that's your rigpa, your natural state. So there's 3 states of stillness, movement, and awareness. And by formalizing this practice, we cultivate our awareness, we cultivate that which already is, and we cultivate stability in it so that we can bring it out into the world. And we get more and more familiar, more and more used to it. It's a practice of getting used to. So let's do this again. Straighten, breathe, settle, sit. And then notice, aware, calm abiding. Do a little path clearing prayer to Padmasambhava. And we'll dedicate the merits of our practice and open up for any sharing or questions, which I highly encourage any sharing. So feel free to chant along. We'll do this once through. Nusum Sanjay Guru Rinpoche Nudrup Kundak Dewa Chen Pojab Barche Kunsel Drak Posel Sawadep So Jingilap Tuso Chinang Sangway Barche Jiwadang Sampalunji Drupa Jingilo. Precious Guide, one with all the Buddhas of the three times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. We'll do the bodhicitta dedication. Jangchup Semchok Rinpoche Makye Panam Kekyoshik Kepanyampa Mepayang Gonde Gondu Pelwarsho. May the pure, brilliant son of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. So now we move into the post meditation. And you're going to go about your Sunday. And I really encourage you to move out of this practice slowly if you can, in a relaxed way. Don't just jump up and run to the next thing. And the post-meditative part of this practice is bringing what we just cultivated into our everyday life. It's bringing it into the way that we meet people. It's bringing it to the way that we meet ourselves. It's bringing it into the way that we walk, we talk, we eat. And so gentle, open, loving is a way to continue to cultivate the practice post-meditation. So please, any questions, any sharing? I saw someone put in the chat that when the thoughts stopped, sound and sensation stepped up. Yes, it's very common. And in fact, you could even say natural, because as the thoughts settle, you become more aware of what's happening around you and within you, within your body, not just within your mind. And so we treat those the same way. Arisings, movements, nothing to do with the sound, just be with, nothing to do with the sensations, just noticing. Thank you, Anne, for that sharing. You can raise your hand and we can unmute you, or you can put it in the chat. I promise you, anything you have to share or any question you have, somebody else has.
Kelley, hi.
Yes, hi.
Thank you for the practice. And, the one comment I wanted to share is this self-correcting that happens. And along with that is what Lama Surya used to say, not be a wooden Buddha. So there's a balance there too, which I was struggling with today, or, trying to control it.
When you say trying to control it, can you say more?
Well, to kind of stay in that awareness state where, make the corrections or stay focused and on path, but at the same time, not be totally that and just kind of pay attention fully just on body gesture and, the mind control. So allow for some fluency and at the same time be aware. And I think that's what Lama Surya used to say, because that kept coming into my mind, not to be a wooden Buddha, to just blindly follow certain patterns. I don't know. I'd like to hear your comment.
Yeah, well, I think what you're describing, and thank you, I love Lama's metaphor of the wooden Buddha. We're not statues, we're not solid, we're not frozen, we are moving, and part of the movement are these sensations that are the thoughts. So it's not controlling them or stopping them. It's allowing. So you already said, you sort of answered your own question, I think. It's the allowing. So it's not the stiff and hardened and, I'm just going to be still. There are different practices that do that, right? You're staring at a wall or you're hardened and you're still. Hardened probably is my word, not theirs. But this isn't that. This is easy and relaxed and open and allowing, flexible. And part of the allowing is when it does arise, when whatever arises, is the not pushing it away and not chasing it. And also knowing that you will. You will, because we're conditioned to do that. So then it's noticing, because sometimes a thought will arise and we're like, I like that thought, right? I want to follow that thought. I want to think about what I'm making for dinner tonight because it sounds really yummy. And let me think through the recipe. That's a habit I have. Okay, now that's not what I'm doing right now. Thank you. Nice to notice that that's a thought I like. I'm gonna come back to just noticing, just being. I think you've described it. Thank you, Lala. Well, it's 12:01, and if Menla were here, she would say, time to end. So we could go all day. But in honor of Menla, our fearless retreat leader, and all of you and your busy days, thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. I invite you to come back next Sunday. If you can, any donation, we're still trying to support Lama in his mission of transmission here. So any donation, big or small, $1 or more, goes a long way. So love to you all. Be safe, and thank you.